we were best friends. And I know he was my best friend during that whole time, and I'm pretty darn sure I was his best friend during that time. So it was great, and it was never about music. It had nothing to do with music. It just was friends, guys. Yes, I love the Johnny Cash show. I love the music that he did. Yes, he loved Dukes of Hazzard. He sang a song about the General Lee. But it wasn't about that. It was just about perspective, respite, not having to deal with whatever it was you had to deal with by virtue of being who you were, who people thought you were. So it was great. Great.
For your mama. Well, I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. But there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were. Trying to make a living out of Blacklander. We'd get together in a family circle, sing out loud. Dad, sing bass. Cause singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. Sing it, children. Although the circle won't be broken, by and by, Lord, by and by.
One story that I think is pretty cool. We were in a little room at his house there in Hendersonville, and I think we were looking at Civil War buttons or ancient coins, I mean, he collected some interesting things. And the security guy came in and brought in a box, and he said, "Here it is." And he said, "Oh, good. That's finally from Manuel." I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's I had Manuel make me another duster, and it's my favorite way to make them, and it's just a great duster." And sure enough, there was this black duster in a box, and he pulled it out and he said, "Yep, that's exactly what I wanted." And he said, "Here, try it on." I said, "Oh, no." He said, No, try it on. It's great." Because I was quite a bit taller than John, but we had the same length arms. He was very long-waisted. So I tried this duster on, and it was fantastic. I'm there in this black duster that Manuel had made for Johnny Cash. But that didn't really occur to me. A buddy of mine just said, "Hey, try on my coat." And I did. And I went to take it off. He said, No, you keep it. And I said, "John, you just told me that this is your favorite. And this is a quintessential Johnny Cash." He said, "If it wasn't my favorite, I wouldn't give it to you." I thought, wow. So I kept that. And then, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months later, I had had a duster made by Manuel. He was out still in North Hollywood. He wasn't in Nashville yet. And it was made out of some legs of blue jeans that my great-grandmother, not my grandmother, my great-grandmother had sewed patches on. But it was the same duster, and it had some leather up at the top, some calfskin leather at the top, but basically the same pattern. So we were doing Fanfare, and I wore it on an album cover of mine called "Trying to Outrun the Wind." So we're standing backstage at Fanfare, and I had on that duster, and John comes up and says, "Wow," he said, "that's a beautiful duster. Is that Manuel?" And I said, yeah. I said, "This is my great-grandmother did this, or this is my favorite piece of clothing I've ever had, because this is my great-grandmother, and this is this, and this is that." And he said, "That's beautiful." And I said, "Here, try it on." So he tried it on. Of course, it fit. It was great. And he went to take it off, and I said, No. You keep it. And, John never forgot anything. So he had a little grin, and he said, "But John Schneider never quite got my name. Nobody ever in the South ever gets my name right." He said, you just told me it was your favorite." And I said, "Well, if it wasn't my favorite, I wouldn't give it to you." Which is cool enough, right? But the very next album John Cash did, he wore that duster on the cover as a way of saying thank you.